20 minutes, then we'll go and talk out there, and I'm sure there'll be more questions.
They're just so stunned into silence.
It's too much, huh?
So if you're starting from ground zero over here, right? I mean, how many times do you have to go through that before you get the hang of it?
Probably 7 or 8, but the critical thing is, unless you understand the process and you have a methodology of assessing what you did during that process, it's very difficult to know where you went wrong. Yeah. So I think you role play it, the whole thing, 3 or 4 times in a training session. You know, you learn how to work it. Yeah, you have to be trained. But then what you do is you do it bit by bit, and then you're assessing it, coming back, having a conversation about it. And it's quite easy to do it, because once you've written out what that looks like, you can come back and say, where did it go wrong? Because it usually goes, it goes wrong for everybody, right? So, but it's pretty straightforward to do. Yeah? I mean, I've got one guy who was one of the programs, and in first 10 weeks, he's gone from 0 sales experience to a pipeline of $1.5 million. So, if he can do it.
Your question?
And at the back.
Chris, I'm in headhunting, and earlier in your presentation you said that the cold call is dead.
It is. Your question? Oh, next one.
That was it. The cold call for me, whilst I don't particularly like doing it because it's awkward, you feel like you're selling, you feel a little bit cheeky, versus an email where you're sending, introduction. The cold call allows you to get that person on the phone. It's say no to a next meeting versus an email which is
My question is, how do I increase the hit rate on my emails?
I mean, a simple question, simple answer there is you have to enhance your personal brand. So if your personal brand is such that, if Richard Branson emailed you, would you ever refuse that? No, of course not. If Bill Gates emailed you, no, would you refuse that? No. If Fraser emailed you, would you ever do that? No, you wouldn't. It's all about your personal brand.
Yeah.
If you phoned me and I didn't recognize your number, I wouldn't pick it up. So many people in Singapore believe the same thing, not least because an expat here, you get bombarded not by SJP, but by other financial services companies who aren't as respectful as SJP. When it comes to that, they just basically blitz you. And recruitment agencies are notorious doing the same thing, and the real estate agencies doing the same thing. So why would an expat pick up a phone when they're going to be they know they're going to be sold to all some Indian call center or Filipino call center or American call centers or Russian call centers got the same thing, and they just blitz you. And my phone's telling me this is going to be spam. Why would I pick it up? So by an email, I can then, if you emailed me, I would see who we both knew. So if you knew Fraser and you know Steve, example, I would definitely respond to you. So you basically see your credibility, how long you've been in the business for. You can check all these things out before you even reply. You cannot do that on the phone. So that's what is the essence of social selling, is I'm effectively researching you as a result of you engaging with me. Or if you put a bit of content up, like a video for example, and you talk about things, oh that's interesting, okay, oh that's it, what does he do? Oh that's interesting, I'm going to your profile. You can then see I've gone to your profile. I can then go, and then you can then reach out to me and say, thanks for viewing my profile, how can I help you? And I've already researched you, I've already gone to your profile, I've viewed your video, so I'm already halfway there in terms of engaging you. And that's the essence of social selling. It's not just the email, it's the invitation, it's the congratulations, it's the content, it's the engagement, it's liking, it's sharing. The 1990 is particularly relevant here. If you are the 1% who are actually sharing, you're above all the other recruitment agencies who are not. If you're engaging the 9%, you're basically letting other people know you're around, they get notifications saying you are doing. Say, oh, that's interesting, what does he do? If your title then backs it up, and lets people know what you do, and they're in the market for doing that, they will come to you. So social selling is not just emails, that's part of it, but it's also content sharing, engaging, and the essence of all the interactions on social media.
Can I add to that?
No. Not your question.
Look, and I think from a headhunting world, there's 2 perspectives. One is finding candidates, and the other is finding business. Yeah? When you're stepping into a business relationship, i.e., you want to place, you want to get someone to use you to find candidates. Yeah? That's sales 101, right? That's just the same as everybody else. And I think when you're a senior and you have a good profile, people will accept your connection, yeah, right? And they will have dialogue with you, definitely, if you approach it in a human way, yeah?
And if you have credibility.
Yeah.
Credibility. If your profile looks like it's fake, you've got 100 connections, it's clearly misaligned English, for example,
Yeah.
they won't accept it, they know it's a
Yeah.
fake profile. But you rarely get that on LinkedIn, that's the whole essence of why LinkedIn works. You had a question, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it's one for Fraser. Thank you very much for what you shared. There is a lot of build. And I'm in sales, and I think I've never met a sales guy or saleswoman that was happy with the CRM. And as you said, it's very important to keep track of everything. And theoretically, the CRM is good for that. So I work with company when they have in-house CRM. I work with company when we're buying from another company. Would you recommend one?
See, first of all,
Could you repeat the question for?
yeah, so the question is, he's never met any salesperson who likes their CRM. Okay, and would I recommend one? Sort of shortened version. So, look, first of all, why is CRM broken? Well, there's a very simple answer to that. It's built by C-suite and technology. And technology want to be very nice to C-suite, so they build it so that C-suite's happy. And it's built logically, so it actually makes sense the way they built it. It's not built for salespeople. So they always say I consulted with salespeople, always, right? But that's meeting 3 salespeople for 1 hour, and then ignoring them completely. So purpose of CRM should be that it's built around making a salesperson's life easier, and it's about something that should be intuitive, simple to use, dynamic, and makes their lives work better. That's what C-suite's CRM's for, right? So the key there is making sure it's not built by them. And from a recommendation perspective, I don't know. Yeah, right. No, I think we've got James here, and he's got a system called Crystal Dash, yeah, right? Which I think is really interesting, because it's built by someone that's not a CRM person. Okay, so it's built. It's actually, when you look at the system, it doesn't look like CRM. And so I like that. Yeah. So I think you'd go with something like that. You're right, where you've got a relationship, but the key thing is getting the model built so that it actually works, so that when the salesperson uses it the first, second, third time, it actually works for them. And that's the key thing. So.
Well, the more people read your book, attend your workshops, right? Like people stopped answering phone calls. I'm sure everyone will build a profile, and then this would get shut down as well. In my view, this is not in isolation. The best thing that works is an evening like this, social networking. And if you do it in combination with the rest of the stuff, that's the most effective,
Totally
right?
agree.
So how do you build that? How do you build on that?
You build it by doing things like this. So basically, you should all connect with each other,
And then follow up
and then
with
follow up with everybody else, and then share each other's posts, and start posting and start sharing, and basically lead from. You can do it yourself. You're in charge of your own personal branding. You're all in charge of your own social selling. And it is going to more events like this. I mean, the beautiful thing about Singapore that I love is the fact you can do this every single day of the year.
Yeah.
You could do this in December in London. Maybe there'll be a tube strike on, it'll be raining outside, it'll be dark and miserable. You want to go, you have to do Christmas shopping. The shops will be shutting at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or something. It's like you basically, half the year you can't go out in London because it's so miserable. Or there's a tube strike on, or it's cold, or it's the other side of London, it's the other side of London. In Singapore you can, you've got no excuse. You can go out to I've got 2 events tonight, 2 events tomorrow, 2 events on Friday. Like literally every single night you can basically go to 1 million events.
Yeah.
And basically it's about picking those ones and, like you say, socializing. But then following up on LinkedIn, connecting with those people, looking at their content, seeing how you can work together. And it might be not a sale, it might be peers. It might be Steve's a partner and Fraser's a partner. We're not doing business together, but we're actually helping each other out. And that's what, beautiful thing about LinkedIn and social selling is you basically help each other out.
And it might not be the same people.
Correct.
Someone who networks well might
Correct.
not be doing LinkedIn well.
Right.
And that this third guy does the closing better. So it's a team
Right.
effort. Yeah.
So my response to that is you need a model. So you come away from an event like this, you've collected 25 business cards. For me, what I do is I dictate a set of notes out to my EA on every person that I talk to and the conversation that I remember we had, and a set of action points, which is send an email, I connect on LinkedIn, Daniela connect on LinkedIn, we send an email, and then in 3 days' time send them a WhatsApp and ask them for a message, which gets populated into CRM, and we do it like that. So there's a process there that's very clearly laid out, black and white. I also scan the cards into my phone on the taxi on the way home. Yeah? Okay, so I've got all the contacts there. I remember I was doing a presentation for a company, Alpha 7, and I was doing a presentation on CRM for them at a tech conference, and I got everybody to exchange business cards, and then I sent them an email that night, and my EA sent an email that night, connection LinkedIn the next day, and then the afternoon the following, I'd gone to have a meeting with them about their sales. And I said, how did you get on with your lead? It was quite a new client. So I said, how did you get on with your lead gen? And they said, well, from the meeting. And they said, well, we haven't done anything, but we know what you've done now.
So you don't need to scan the business cards in these days, because LinkedIn actually has an app which actually sorts this out. So if you go to your phones and you tap that little number in there and you do find nearby, and basically if you are on now, every single person, if you all do it at the same time, you can now pick up. So go to your phones, because nobody doing it at the moment, because you have to do it all the same time. So go to your phones.
Enable locations.
That's one down
I
there.
never knew that.
The little network one down there. See find nearby
Wait.
there.
Can someone just take a video of this and post this on the It's so cool, right?
And then every single person will be able to do it. So you literally, you're on LinkedIn, and then you go to your network, and then you go find nearby, and then you start populating, and every single person can then connect every single other person in this room. No business card needed. There you go, look at that populating, look at that populating. Look at that go, look at that go. Look at that go.
So we all
connections.
thank you, Chris.
There you go.
Awesome.
And now your location.
So look at that populate, look at that populate. Look at that.
No.
So you don't need business cards. That's why you don't need business cards.
I never knew how
That's
well I
right.
knew you.
I never knew how that worked. I knew the feature, but it's like
That's what you do. But you have to do it at the same time. It doesn't work otherwise. I've tried it like in my condo by myself. There's nobody around. There's nobody connected. It doesn't work. It's not like, it
My
doesn't work
phone's
like,
in my bag.
it doesn't work like, it basically doesn't work like Tinder.
Okay.
It's not like a Tinder thing, but yeah, it's just that one there on your phone, on the network, find nearby, and then every single person can basically do it.
Interesting, huh?
It's beautiful. And if you do it in a conference of like 100 people or 1,000 people, it's quite amazing, because you're never going to pick up 1,000 business cards, but you'll basically be able to find them on Find Nearby.
Amazing.
But you have to
Never
all
knew
do
that.
it at the same time.
We
That's
need
the
you
key.
on stage announcing this.
Yes, you do.
Every event.
Every event.
Yes. I can be the token person in the corner going, do this. Like sign language, yes.
Got me intrigued about the personal branding on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The question to both of you at the moment on a personal thing of what do I put as my title or my summary? You guys are changing yours, especially Chris,
Yeah.
changing yours
Yeah.
daily, weekly.
Yeah.
Do you have like points that you follow saying, right, I have to do a bit of that, bit of that, bit of that? I don't know. How do I write a great
It's a great one, but you have to
title
teach. I mean, I didn't
or
talk about this in this talk here, but it's slightly different. But my main masterclass about LinkedIn and personal branding, I talk a lot about your background picture and your headline. Your headline has to sum up what you do. So mine currently says live in Tokyo next week. So I'm doing this very talk in Tokyo next week. The week after it'll say live in Zurich. So it lets people know I'm going to be there. So then when I share things, it says live in Tokyo. If someone in Tokyo then sees that, they go, oh, Chris is in Tokyo. Let's have a beer, let's have a meetup. So you have to think about the keywords there. So all mine's got keywords in them. You notice my title now, it says best-selling author, keynote speaker, entrepreneur, LinkedIn marketing, CEO. So if somebody's searching for that, it will come up. If you don't put it in there, it will not come up. It's like Google. If you put basic search words and keywords into your Google page, it comes up in the context. If you don't put it in, they can't find it. Google's not, Google can't find things that are not there. LinkedIn can't find things that are not there. You have to feed LinkedIn with what your keywords are and own LinkedIn. Own the keywords, like personal branding or LinkedIn, whatever yours is. Own those words in your headline, your summary, your experience, your content. Follow it all the way through, and then you'll pop up right at the top of the search. Because LinkedIn's a search, just like Google's a search.
Brilliant.
Next question.
I've got nothing to add.
So you had loads of things to measure,
Yeah.
and you look like you were measuring them in an Excel spreadsheet. Do you
I was just
recommend-
using it as an example. It was easier to put it in a PowerPoint. So.
What would you recommend though?
You normally your CRM would have a dashboard on it, so you have a very clear dashboard, and you would. So the question is how do you measure measure the stats? Yeah. For me, you would have a CRM system that's working at about a 90% completion rate, and you would have a dashboard there that shows you what you're doing, when you're doing, and how you're doing it. But also, as a manager, you should be using that dashboard as the tool to have the conversations with the salespeople. That's the critical piece. That's where it breaks down, as the managers get it converted into a spreadsheet. So the salesperson knows no one's looking at it, so they don't do it. Yeah? So there's 3 disciplines in sales. There's self-discipline, there's autocratic discipline, and then there's that thing where you want to get better and you ask someone to push you. And we need all 3. You know? The third, the autocratic, comes from people looking at your information. Though, yeah? And information is not a tool to bully people. It should be something that's used to help them get better, in my opinion. Is that?
Yeah.
Well, shall we
Any other questions?
convene to the bar and ask questions
Yeah, why not?
socially?
We can
Okay.
use this at Raffles Place at lunchtime.
But everybody else has to be doing it. That's the whole point. It only works.